Good evening, and welcome to our Maunday, Thursday worship service as we continue to journey through this Holy Week. We have journeyed together through this season of Lent, and tonight at sundown, our Lenten journey comes to an end. And remember that in the Jewish tradition, that the day changes when the sun sets, changing from Maunday, Thursday to Good Friday. Tonight, Maunday, Thursday, we remember the final night that Jesus spent with his disciples before the arrest and the crucifixion. On this night, Jesus shared with his disciples the Last Supper. He washed their feet, and he gave them a new commandment to love one another. And this is the namesake of Maunday, Thursday. Maunday means mandate or commandment, and Jesus giving the commandment to love one another. And so, Maunday, Thursday is characterized by three things: the Last Supper, the washing of the disciples' feet, and the new commandment to love one another. The reason Jesus and his disciples are in Jerusalem during this time of the year is because of the Passover. And so, the story of Holy Week actually starts nearly 2,000 years before the birth of Christ. The story of the Passover. From Exodus 12, the Israelites, God's people, are in captivity. They're slaves in Egypt. And of course, God calls Moses through the burning bush to lead the Israelites out of slavery and into the promised land. And so then we have a whole series of events of Moses asking the Pharaoh to release God's people. And the story brings us to all of the plagues in the story of the Passover, in which God promises all of his people that if they make a sacrifice and they put a sign of this sacrifice over their door, that God will pass over that house and keep that house safe. Of course, this is what happens. And finally, the Israelites are able to leave slavery. It's a story of deliverance. And as we heard a Jewish rabbi say this morning, in this time of isolation and quarantine and distancing, we need to hear again this story of deliverance, to hear this story of emancipation, to hear the story about God's faithfulness to us, even in difficult times, that God will deliver. And so we open tonight's worship service with our opening song, Joyous Light of Heavenly Glory.
Joyous light of heavenly glory, loving glow of God's own face, you who sing creation's story, shine on every land and race. Now as evening falls around us, we shall raise our songs to you, God of daybreak, God of shadows, come
Nearly 2,000 years pass. Jesus is born, grows, and lives his life on this earth. And in the last week of his life, he comes to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. Now, before the festival of the Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The devil had already put into the heart of Judas, son of Simon, to betray him. And during supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, got up from the table, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel he had tied around him. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord.
Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord.
Humble thyself in the sight,
Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord.
and he shall lift you up higher and higher, and he shall lift
you up.
Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord.
Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord.
Humble thyself in the sight,
Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord.
and he shall lift you up higher and higher, and he shall lift you up. And Jesus says, my children, I am with you only a little longer, and you will look for me. And as I said to the Jews, so now I say to you, where I am going, you cannot come. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. You don't have a job, you don't pay your bills, won't buy you a home in Beverly Hills. Won't fix your life in 5 easy steps. Ain't love the land or the government, but it's all you need. Love will hold us together, make us a shelter to weather the storm, and I'll be my brother's keeper, so the whole world will know that we're not alone. It's waiting for you, knocking at your door. In the moment of truth, when your heart hits the floor, when you're on your knees, love will hold us together, make us a shelter to weather the storm, and I'll be my brother's keeper, my brother's keeper, so the whole world will know that I'm not alone. When it was evening, Jesus came with the 12. And when they had taken their places and were eating the Passover meal, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me. For the Son of Man goes as it is written of him. But woe to that one by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for that one not to have been born." While they were eating, Jesus took a loaf of bread, and after blessing it, he broke it, gave it to them, and said, "Take, this is my body." Then he took the cup, and after giving thanks, he gave it to them, and all of them drank from it. He said to them, "This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many. Truly I tell you, I will never drink again of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink of it anew in the kingdom of God." We all start on the outside looking in. This is where grace begins. We were hungry, we were thirsty, with nothing left to give. Oh, the shape we were in. Just when all hope seemed lost, love opened the door for us. He said, "Come to the table. Come join the sinners who have been redeemed. Take your place beside the Savior. Sit down and be set free. Come to the table." To the thief and to the doubter, to the hero and the coward,
To the prisoner and the soldier, to the young and to the older.
all who hunger, all who thirst, all the last and all the first,
All the paupers and the princes, all who feel you've been forgiven.
all who dream and all who suffer,
All who love and lost another, all the chained and all the free, all who follow, all who lead,
anyone who's been let down, all the lost who have been found.
all who've been labeled right or wrong, to everyone who hears this song.
Come to the table. Come join the sinners who've been redeemed. Take your place beside the Savior. Sit down and be set free.
Oh,
Sit down and be set free. Come to the table. After the Lord's Supper, Jesus and the disciples sang a hymn, and then they went out to the Mount of Olives, to a place called the Garden of Gethsemane. The sun sets, and the day changes from Thursday